Namaste, guys. Christian R. Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, giving you big, beautiful, delicious shout out. Laura is on, bringing the heat. Hey, Pat. Namaste. I'm glad that you and I are now friends on the good old-fashioned Facebook. Great to have you on a live stream. And happy Friday. Happy Friday to each and every one of you. Hopefully this weekend is going to be filled with fun, joy, happiness. Hey, Ted, Namaste. And things that make you feel good. You spend quality time with good friends, good family members. Hey, James, Namaste. And Friday, for those of you who do not know, hey, Kellen, Namaste. For those of you who do not know, Friday is ruled by the planet Venus. So for those of you who've studied anything about Western astrology, this may resonate. This is more Kabbalistic astrology that was taught to me by my teacher, Grandmaster Choa Koksui, which talks about weekly cycles, yearly cycles, and then 7-year cycles. So Friday, the planet that rules Friday is Venus, and Venus deals with leisure, happiness, travel, sexual affairs, even. So it's a good time to be intimate with your intimate partner Fridays, because it's the energy that is most stimulated in Friday is love. So so that's every Friday are those energies. Janine, Namaste, good to have you on. Sharon, Namaste, good to have you on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And so I just want to jump on real quick because I'm always doing these streams pretty much in the evening, 7 days a week, no matter what. And we talk about 3 main topics: energy healing, meditation, or practical spirituality. And by the end of whatever time that you log on, I want you to benefit, and I want your life to move forward in a positive direction, whether it's in your health, your relationships, your finances, your spiritual growth and development. And this is an open, hey Prashant, what's up? This is an open forum to ask any and all questions that you feel appropriate. Typically, if we could stay on topic, that would be best. Caustic, Namaste, good to have you on. Thanks for sharing. I really appreciate you guys. So tonight's topic I want to cover is energetic hygiene and how it was a huge game changer for me on my spiritual path. Now, some of you may know and some of you may not know, I learned about pranic healing in March. Well, I learned about pranic healing actually in October of 2003. Hey, Kate, Namaste. I learned about that in 2003, October, and then I took my level 1 basic pranic healing class in March of 2004. And I had studied Reiki level 1 and level 2 from 1999 to about 2004. And I realized that while Reiki is a beautiful system and has helped millions of people around the world, and it's very easy to apply, it was missing the comprehensive aspects that I found in pranic healing and Hatha yoga. And one of the biggest aspects, because I get this question all the time from other energy healer practitioners or people who are familiar with meditation and spirituality, they say, how is pranic healing different than Reiki? Or how is pranic healing different from quantum touch? Or how is pranic healing different from laying of the hands? Or how is pranic healing different from fill in the blank with your energy healing modality? Now, keep in mind, all healing comes from God. All healing, whether it's alternative healing, which is funny because alternative healing has been around for tens of thousands of years, so I don't know why it's alternative, as well as traditional allopathic medicine, which has been around for about 100 to 125 years. All healing comes from God. Even if the surgeon is doing open heart surgery on somebody, the energy that is controlling the process is still from God. It's still from God. So all healing comes from God. So we can meet on that level. So Prashant says, how often is it adequate to cleansing on ourselves? Daily, weekly, etc. Excellent question. Excellent question. Which will, I promise I'll answer that. We'll lead right into it. So a factor that I noticed in pranic healing that I have not seen in any other healing modality at its core teachings, right, is energetic hygiene. So energetic hygiene are simple practices to keep the client clean, to keep the practitioner or healer clean, and then to keep the environment or space clean. All of these things accelerate the healing process. So what would be an example of an energetic hygiene practice? So In pranic healing, when we are cleansing somebody or removing heavy disease energy off of their aura or their chakras or their meridians, Ali Abba Namaste, we don't pull the energy off of them. I must be doing it off of somebody right now. We don't pull the energy off of them and absorb it or hold on to it, right? Or throw it on the floor because it's contaminated energy. It's diseased energy, right? If you're sensitive and you do enough sweeps of somebody's energy body, you're going to feel itchiness, hotness. You could break out in a rash. I've seen that as well. I've had that happen to myself. So you have to be careful of that. So what do? You flick that disease congested energy into a salt basin. Now this is taught in level 1 pranic healing. The first class you take in pranic healing, you're taught energetic hygiene. So number 1, keeping your hands clean by throwing the congested energy not on the floor and not up in the air, but into a salt basin. Another one is we spray our hands. We have an alcohol water solution that we spray our hands with to keep our hands energetically clean as we're doing the healing protocols on clients, right? So instead of having all this disease energy in my hand, I use an alcohol water solution. It breaks up the disease energy, and then I can flick the rest of that into the salt water. What else? We use crystals, very specialized, very specific types of crystals for our healing practice. So instead of the healer absorbing the disease congested energy from the patient, the crystal is absorbing the disease congested energy from the patient. You see the difference? Which is super important. Salt lamps everywhere. I can talk about salt lamps as well, Laura, if you want. If you're really, really, really interested in knowing about salt lamps. Don't get mad at me if you don't like the answer. So also we have certain mantras that we play in the background while a person's getting healed. It could be the mantra Om by my teacher, Grandmaster Choa Koksui, or it could be other mantras used for healing purposes that radiate certain kinds of energies, breaking up disease and congested energies in the environment. Because when someone's getting a healing, they're letting go, they're releasing, they're purging negative thoughts, negative emotions, congestion in their system, and it could be coming out faster than the healer can remove, than the crystal can hold on to. So by having the mantras playing in the background, it breaks up the disease congested energies and raises the vibration. All right, so Laura wants to talk. All right, I'll cover that in a second, I promise. So, what else? Salt baths. That's something a healer can do at the end of their healing session, is taking a salt bath. Warm water, 2 pounds of table salt, not Epsom salt, table salt, 15 drops of lavender oil, mix it up, submerge the whole body, right, for 20 minutes, and then that will cleanse you energetically. It's Heather! Pharrell, what's up, girl? So it will cleanse you energetically. Super powerful. I've been doing salt baths regularly for 13 years. Cannot recommend them enough. What's another thing that we use for energetic hygiene? We cut cords. We cut cords. We disconnect. And you might be saying, well, wait a minute. In my other healing modality, I've heard about some of these things. Yes, you may have heard some of these things, but we have to give credit where credit is due. The core teachings of different schools of energy healing do not have energetic hygiene principles most times, right? This was codified, the information was codified by Grandmaster Choa Koksui into the coursework that we do in pranic healing, which is over 20 different classes. So cutting cords is one of the techniques that we use in pranic healing, because if I'm connected to 20 patients at the end of the day or the end of the week, could that have a negative effect on my mental state, my emotional state, even on my etheric or physical state, right? People pulling on me all day long, all week long, that could be a lot, right? So we cut cords, we disconnect, the healer disconnects from the client or from the patient. Now, do you have to be a healer to benefit from cutting cords or disconnecting? No. Anyone and everyone can benefit from disconnecting from draining sources and sources of people and situations that drain our energy. So again, this is all taught level 1 pranic healing class. The first class, you're taught all of these things. It's pretty sweet. So let's see, anything else? Pretty much covered that. Oh, energetic hygiene of having a regular meditation practice. each and every time you sit down and you do the Twin Hearts meditation, it's like getting a waterfall of cleansing energy through your system. So it cleanses your aura, it cleanses your meridians, it cleanses your chakras of negative thoughts and negative emotions, and breaks up blockages. So prana, fresh energy, fresh prana can flow through your system much, 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 much easier. Super beneficial. Now, the question was from Prashant about self-healing. So in pranic healing, level 1 class, you're taught how to heal yourself. You're taught how to heal friends and family members. You're taught how to heal distantly, so people from across the country, across the world. Laura, Atma Namaste, right? You're taught that in the very first class. So his question was, how often should you do self-healing? Meaning, how often should you use pranic healing protocols to heal yourself? And it depends on the person, and it depends on the situation, and depends on what they're going through. So what does that look like? Well, if you're having a normal month with no extra stressors at work, at home, finances, whatever, it's just a normal everyday month, then once a week, once every 2 weeks. But let's say you just got out of a relationship. Let's say you've just been diagnosed with a terminal disease. Let's say that you're filing bankruptcy. Let's say that you're getting foreclosed on your house. Let's say that somebody very, very close to you passed away. Do you think you would need healing more than once every 2 weeks? Right? It would probably make sense to do healing multiple times throughout the day. So that's why I recommend, some people are not very good at doing self-healing, meaning they're stressed out, they're anxious, they're angry, and they forget the tools that they've been taught on how to help themselves. So then what do? They call up a healer. They say, hey, can you heal me? Hey, Candace, Atma Namaste, pranic healing instructor in Denver. So you call up the healer and you say, can you heal me? I have anxiety. Can you work on that? I have lower back pain. Can you work on that? I just got out of a breakup. Can you work on that, right? And then the healer, who is objective, who is not entangled in your stuff, can do a much, much better job at alleviating your pain, your sorrow, and suffering, doing the protocol objectively. That's why it's also recommended if you have family members and you're not able to heal them because you're so attached to the outcome, hire somebody or call up another pranic healer and say, hey, can you work on my sister? Can you work on my father? Can you work on my children? Right? Because it helps with the process. That's why doctors don't operate on their children or family members. Does that make sense? Right? Because they're too subjectively involved in the experience of healing, and they need objectivity. In pranic healing, we call it compassionate objectivity, meaning we're not cold, we're not icy, we're not emotionally distant, but we're not deeply entangled in the person's problem, because it's like if they're in a boat that's sinking, we don't get in the boat that's sinking with them. We grab them from their sinking boat and put them in our boat that is hole free, right? So I hope that makes sense. And then lavender, yes, lavender is, for those of you who are interested in the prana colors, because there's a lot of doTERRA representatives that are going to be watching this live stream or watching the replay, the colored prana or energies of lavender is violet and blue. Violet and blue. So violet is very high vibrational and very cleansing, and it actually contains all the other colors, right? And then blue is cooling and localizing and calming. So if you look at it clairvoyantly, you see violet and you see blue. All right, so Laura, Joshua, Atma Namaste, Steve, Atma Namaste, good to have you guys on. So Laura wanted to know about salt lamps. So how many of you, myself included, how many of you at some point in your lives have either seen those Himalayan salt lamps or have actually purchased a Himalayan salt lamp and you have it sitting in your house right now? I was one of those people. In fact, I worked with a buddy of mine who part of his business was selling Himalayan salt lamps. Here's the challenge with that. At some point, those Himalayan salt lamps become congested. They become congested. So if you scan them or feel the energy of a salt lamp, scan, this is taught again in level 1, basic pranic healing,